Hello and welcome back to Mondays with Melissa. I'm so excited you are here. I'm so excited to be really diving into and talking about the impact of food on mood because I find this is something that a lot of people are unaware of. I was certainly unaware of it, and it's a big part of the reason I got into coaching is because once I realized the impact that food had on mood, not only for myself, but my children, it was a game changer. And so I really felt like I needed to help get this message out about the impact of food on mood. And so I think a lot of times in our society, we only associate food with weight, right? Like we know that there are certain foods that if we want to lose weight, maybe we shouldn't eat, or we've been told we couldn't eat, whatever that looks like. I believe in one size does not fit all. What works for one does not work for all. You've got to figure out what works for you and your unique body type. But I think we're missing a big component that food impacts mood and it impacts the behavior of kids as well. Okay. And so, as a baseline, eating real, whole, quality food is really the foundation of preventing and alleviating mental health issues. And I'm a big proponent of Dr. Trudy Scott. She talks a lot about anxiety, but I think when we think mental health, we need to think also in addition to anxiety, but we need to think about obsessive tendencies, panic attacks, worry, depression, and really just overall mental health. Dr. Daniel Amen is also a really big proponent of mental health as well. And I'd like to just put him in as well because he talks a lot about it. But I think the main thing we need to know about food, again, is not only does it impact our weight, obviously, but it impacts our energy, it impacts our blood sugar, and that impacts mood, right? Like if you have ever done any of my sugar workshops, you know that when we eat sugary foods, it makes our blood sugar go up really high, like to the top of a roller coaster. And then we crash and we come down and we might feel anxious, we might feel crabby, we might feel jittery. Like there are mood swings that go with that blood sugar roller coaster, right? So I think the key is to really control your blood sugar. And you can do that again through your diet and how often you're eating. And I think we don't equate that as part of the equation. We just think that maybe we're crabby or we're tired or we're whatever. But a lot of times we can trace some of it back to food. Now, I will say, as a holistic health coach, I don't just do food, I do the whole picture because there's other factors that impact us as well. So I really look at the whole person approach and focus on that. But I think we need to have a little more awareness that the impact of food having on mood. Okay. So I think part of this looks like your sugar intake, what kind of sugars you're consuming, how often you're eating. That's part of the blood sugar roller coaster for sure. Other things that impact our moods would be alcohol, caffeine, nicotine. Those have an impact as well. If you have food sensitivities, those are going to impact your mood. I know when I have gluten, my moods are all over the place. This is how we identified this in our kids was their moods. And it turns out the cause for them was gluten and dairy. The other thing that really impacts them are artificial food diets. So we need to be aware of how what we're eating is impacting our overall health, our mood, our mental well-being, and also for our kids as well. It also can impact digestion. If you are eating a lot of foods that are not helping you have regular bowel movements, your body's going to hold on to toxins, and that's going to impact your health as well. So it's just very, very important that we look at the whole picture with our mood. And we obviously, if there's something that needs to be worked through or healed or something that's bothering us, we need to work through that. But I think we also need to look at the impact of food. And so I love to encourage people to keep a food journal. So if you want one, I can put one in the show notes for you. And that way you can kind of access your food and your mood and how it makes you feel. One of the things I do in my Finding Freedom program is we have a 4-day energy experiment where you learn what foods work for you to give you energy versus taking away your energy, because it's all connected. And again, we're all different. Um, and there are other things that impact our mood, like hormones, obviously. That can be a big part. Our stress level can be a big part. There are so many factors that play a part. And again, that's what I do as a holistic health coach, is I look at the whole person. I look at the big picture. So it's super important to know if you have hormonal imbalances, if you have medications that could be impacting you, what your toxic load is, what your nutrient levels are. Like, this is all part of the equation. But I think just for the purpose of this podcast, I want you to dive into the food part. So I'm going to put a link in the show notes for you to track your food and mood, see if you notice anything there. If you're interested in going deeper, I do have a food and mood mini workshop with 5 days of support. I'll put a link in the show notes as well. But just to kind of get the mind rolling, kind of build some awareness around this for you, I thought this would be a really good starting point. So let me know if you have any questions. I'll put all those resources in the show notes, and I can't wait to talk to you next week. Bye.